This video is going to show how to do a topical ointment. For this topical ointment, we're using bacitracin ointment for Jack. First thing we're going to do is we're going to inspect Jack's arm and clean it. I've already washed my hands. I'm going to apply gloves and wash the site. Jack, can I please see your right arm? Ooh, those scratches look pretty nasty.
They hurt.
Let me put some gloves on, Jack, and then I'll get that site washed up.
Thank you.
Using warm soapy water on a rag. After I get gloves on, I would use that to wash. We're going to wash each site individually in a vertical motion. So I have a warm soapy rag here, Jack. Again, for rags, if we fold them nicely, we don't have water going everywhere. So for a wound like this, we're going to start at the wrist or the hand and work our way up the arm, because we don't want to wash any infection or bacteria down the arm, where Jack could be touching other things in the home like door handles and such and infecting other people if there's an infection to the wound. Jack, I'm going to wash the wound now, okay? I'm going to go in a single stripe up. I'm going to switch spots on the rag and do the same thing again. Right? We're going to just get rid of our cloth, and we're going to use a dry cloth to pat dry or allow the site to air dry. I'm going to go dispose of my gloves and wash my hands now. Jack, I'm getting ready to do your bacitracin ointment. Can I have your full name and date of birth, please?
Jack Armstrong, April 23rd, 1956.
All right. So for Jack, we're going to get the medication out of the locked cabinet, and we're going to start the process again. We need the bacitracin ointment. So we're looking for Jack Armstrong's bacitracin ointment. I have found it here. Jack Armstrong, bacitracin ointment. Apply a thin layer to cuts on right forearm twice a day for 7 days. 8:30 in the morning. It is 8:30 now. Jack Armstrong, bacitracin ointment. Apply thin layer to cuts on right forearm twice a day for 7 days. Second check. Jack Armstrong, bacitracin ointment. Apply a thin layer to cuts on right forearm twice a day for 7 days. Jack Armstrong, bacitracin ointment. Apply thin layer to cuts on right forearm twice a day for 7 days. Now that I've done 2 checks, take the medication out. And we have 2 different sites on his arm. So what we can do, without touching these, is open them. And we know he has 2 sites, we're going to need 2 sterile gauze for this. So we can apply gloves. And after we get our thin stripe, we'll do our 3rd check here. Sometimes medications that are really sticky, we don't want to use cotton balls, because you can actually take the cotton ball and shred it and put parts of the cotton ball in the wound. That's why we're using gauze. And also, anytime we take something out of another container and to do our 3rd check, if it's slimy or sticky, sometimes the medication label won't stay attached. We want to make sure that whatever's supposed to be in the box is what was actually in the box during our 3rd check. And in this case, our dosing is a thin layer to each of these gauze pads. So we have bacitracin ointment for Jack Armstrong. Apply a thin layer to cuts on right forearm twice a day for 7 days. Jack Armstrong, bacitracin ointment. Apply thin layer to cuts on right forearm twice a day for 7 days. Jack, is it okay if I apply this to your cuts?
Yeah, please.
So remember, we're using the clean gauze, we're using one per thing and just a thin stripe just directly over the wound. Remember, we're not going to cover this unless we have a doctor's order that says to do so. That one was a little thick. At that point, I would use a clean gauze. And again, just get a little bit of the extra off. We're going to sit with Jack for a little bit and let that air dry. This time, if I can, I'm going to throw away the excess materials, like the used gauze and my gloves. I've just washed my hands again. I can put the medication away and document in the MAR. Remember, we will observe, report, and record the person's response to the medications that we are administering.